Hi, my name is Eugene, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of our remote learning program. Our goal at Great Ninja is to focus on student achievement, and we do that by creating a storyline that is embedded throughout every unit of instruction. The student journey is centered around a unit challenge where students use science and engineering to solve a real-world environmental problem. Our state-approved program is deeply aligned with the next generation science standards and builds on California's environmental concepts and principles to provide students with authentic and meaningful learning experiences that involve their family and larger community. There are 3 components to our science program: a digital component with access to a teacher portal, printed materials including a teacher companion, and material kits that allow hands-on learning. Of course, today things are a little different as we are mainly teaching online. In our original curriculum, each grade in middle school is broken up into 6 units, with each unit having between 25 and 35 lessons. In our new remote learning program, each unit is divided into 4 to 6 chapters, with each chapter having about 4 to 8 days of instruction. We've added these chapters to provide students with more opportunities for achievement and to reflect on what they've learned. Every chapter in our remote learning program has 3 components: the slide decks, Google Forms and Docs, and a student calendar. The nice thing about this framework is that you can edit any of these components to make them work for you and your students. We also provide you with a remote learning lesson map where you can see the alignment between the original curriculum and our remote learning content. So if you were in day 3 looking at evidence of climate change, you could go back to the original lesson to get background information about this lesson. So let's go online to take a look at these remote learning materials. We'll start at grade 6, unit 1, and you can look at the lesson by clicking here. We'll jump into lesson 1, where you'll find the online teaching heading shown in orange. Here's a brief summary of how the day fits into this chapter and the lesson plan for the day. But everything you really need for remote teaching is inside this folder. So let's go in there and I'll show you what's inside. Our remote learning program is designed around Google Slides, Google Docs, Forms, and together with your Google Classroom. The centerpiece of our remote learning program is the student-facing slide deck. So let's take a quick tour. Each of your students will be provided with their own slide deck, and they will step through these slides and follow the directions. Here we are at day 1. Here are the learning outcomes, and here's a title slide for the day. Students will start by playing a game, and then they're given instructions of how to play that game and links to access. Then, after playing the game, they're instructed to answer questions about the game using these text boxes. This is the general approach that we use in our remote learning program. We provide students with videos, investigations, reading, or other experiences, and they have to do some work and answer some questions. You can grade these at the end of every chapter or more frequently. The approach provides an incredibly flexible learning environment that allows you to modify anything you want to best meet the needs of your students. We provided the framework and have done the translation between our original curriculum and the new remote learning program. There are different icons that appear on some of the slides, and the pencil icon tells you and students both that there's some work to be completed here. Students will know this is required to fill out, and when you grade these slide decks, you can quickly scan the slides to look for the pencils. Although we've designed this program for asynchronous instruction, it will work even better for a mixed mode classroom or even fully synchronous instruction. If you have all your students online, you could ask them to spend the first 20 minutes going through slides 1 through 10, and then have a discussion about some of the slides and work they've done. The really nice thing about Google Classroom is that this platform allows you to easily share the deck with all your students and then to do the grading as well. Obviously, you can look through our slides and see how this all works, but I wanted to highlight a couple of additional points. Inside the slide deck, you'll see occasional links highlighted in red to other Google documents. This is a link to a pre-assessment, and we provide you with the Google form so you can assign this to your students who then complete the assessment. At the end, I'll show you where to find a tutorial for how to set up these links in your own Google slide deck. We try to modify the modality of how students interact with slides. So although they're often writing, they could draw and then upload a photo of their drawing. They can also highlight certain answers or move items around. Google Slides is a nice environment for creating varied ways to have students engage with their science content. At the end of the chapter, there is typically a summary and then a short assessment. This is a chance to reinforce the storyline of the unit and encourage students to reflect on what they've learned so far. I also wanted to show you the student calendar. Of course, you can modify this in any way you want, but know that both students and their parents will find this planner helpful. Finally, I wanted to show you how to get started. If you go back to the unit overview and then click on the Resource tab, you'll find our remote learning section that has a really good video on the steps you'll need to make this work for you. I hope this video is helpful, and if you have any further questions, let us know how we can help.